This video is sponsored by BetterHelp. Taking care of your mental health is just as important as looking after your physical well-being. BetterHelp offers online therapy to nurture your mental wellness. BetterHelp will match you to a professional who has years of experience helping people with struggles just like yours, usually within 48 hours. So you can start therapy right away, from the comfort of your own home and a time that works for you. Whether you prefer messaging, phone calls, or like me, weekly video sessions, it's a chance to explore your thoughts and emotions with the guidance of a professional who truly understands. It's affordable, accessible, and easy to start. Confronting your inner challenges is never an easy task, but remember, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one single step, and maybe BetterHelp can be your first step. Visit betterhelp.com/gala or choose Gala Studio during sign-up and enjoy a special discount on your first month.
like a dream. You and I standing wild and free, with petals so golden, the sun's warm kiss, a love so strong, a bliss. Whispers of the breeze, secrets unfold. It's you that I need, it's you that I want. When the world gets cold, it's you and me. When the sun comes back, you'll see. Oh, dandelion, the strength that you've shown, stronger each year. Look how we hold on. Look out, here she comes. Woman that I love. It's too bad she'll never know. Yeah, I can't tell her how I feel, because she has someone who makes her happy. I'm a ghost in these walls, or at least I try to be. 'Cause I hope that I'm not showing how I feel for her, but she won't feel the same for me. I've got this picture in my mind. It's just the two of us, just the two of us. But I know I have to try to let her go, because she won't be mine. I listen when she talks, I watch her when she walks. She's giving me these feelings that I've never felt before, but she will never know that I love her so well. She's with somebody else and I will have to let her go. She will never know, never know, she will never know, never know, she'll never know. It's like she stole my heart without knowing she did. But I guess that it will pass. Yeah, I can't be the only one who got lost inside the blue of those eyes. I've gotta let her go, I know it won't be easy. I wanna hold her close, but I have to try as hard as I can, 'cause she'll never be mine. I listen when she talks, I watch her when she walks. She's giving me these feelings that I've never felt before. She will never know that I
过几天再来看好了。好吧 ，Let's go。
赶紧吃了。
这是我锁的还是我锯的？
这还挺粗的。
今天长得还真的挺好。
Gonna stay in this moment. Gonna lay here on the grass. I don't need to feel lonely. I am finally home at last. And I don't mind being gone on adventures for a while. No, no. 'Cause the best thing about it is I know I'm coming back. Oh, oh. Of all the magic places in the world I've been to, this is where my heart is. Oh, you know it's true. No matter where I go, I'm coming home to you. Been walking down the street so many times, my feet know every brick and stone. Could wear a blindfold. No matter what I do, I'm coming home to you. And I don't know why, don't know why, don't know why I'm always feeling homesick. Oh, all I know, all I know, all I know is this is where my heart is. Oh, I have seen many places where the beauty never ends. Different cities, friendly faces, and they have me going back. But I don't have to be chasing every dream that I have. Oh,
这边，你洗一下。 嘿，这有个大的，我能感觉到它要起来了。其实我该挖在后面那土豆。哎呦 ，lock！ 哇，哎呀，土豆。说到你昨天还有一个在这儿。哦。哎呀。
I was lost in a city dream, and I was at home again beside the stream. Then you walked past me, and you saw me and smiled. I will never forget the first time when I saw you, I thought I lost my mind. Blue and faded was blown away and left behind. I hope you're still out